to, I want to make a distinction between paranormal religion, which is what Penn and I suspect most people mean by religion, and perinormal religion, which I also call Einsteinian religion, which is non-supernatural, and the only question is whether it's right to use the word religion at all. So, Einsteinian religion. I've previously written about one of my teachers, of whom I was fond, who was an Anglican priest. And he told us of the never-forgotten instant that triggered his calling. As a boy, he was lying in a field with his face buried in the grass. And he suddenly found himself engulfed in a magnified awareness of the tangled stems and roots, a whole new world, the world of ants and beetles, even soil bacteria, microorganisms, by the billions. And at that moment, the micro-world of the soil seemed to swell and become one with the universe and one with the soul of the boy contemplating them. He interpreted the experience in religious terms, and it eventually led him to the priesthood. But much the same mystical feeling is common among scientists. In his boyhood, at least, my clergyman friend was probably not aware of the closing lines of The Origin of Species, the famous entangled bank passage. By the way, I don't often find cause for patriotic pride, but the Darwin £10 note, as distinct from what's written on your notes, here are the closing words of The Origin of Species. Thus, from the war of nature, from famine and death, the most exalted object which we are capable of conceiving, namely the production of the higher animals, directly follows. There is grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed into few forms or into one, and that whilst this planet has gone cycling on according to the fixed law of gravity, from so simple a beginning, endless forms most beautiful and most wonderful have been and are being evolved. Carl Sagan, who was a better poet than Darwin, wrote in his inspiring book, Pale Blue Dot, "How is it that hardly any major religion has looked at science and concluded, this is better than we thought? The universe is much bigger than our prophets said, grander, more subtle, more elegant. Instead, they say, no, 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 my God is a little God, and I want him to stay that way." A religion, old or new, that stressed the magnificence of the universe as revealed by modern science, might be able to draw forth reserves of reverence and awe, hardly tapped by the conventional faiths. Sooner or later, such a religion will emerge. Well, I would dissent from only the last sentence of that, but purely because of the point I'm now trying to make, which is that religion is not the proper word to use, although, of course, many of the attributes of religious feeling, such as the feeling of my clergyman lying face down in the grass, are shared by atheistic scientists, such as Sagan and indeed me.